All right, we're back. It's episode 5 of the My 26 Cents podcast with Kristofer Golvazin. And in this episode, we're going to be doing a deep dive into one of my previous employers. This is going to be something that happens a lot, me ranting about old places that I worked. And we're going to start out with this one. We're not even going to be able to go over all of the details and angles about it. We're mostly just going to focus on the owner and the management um, of this old restaurant I used to work in during the pandemic and slightly after when things were like half open. All right, to set the scene, it is summer 2020. I am back home, just graduate college online, which really felt like even more of a scam after doing like 3.5 years of like the in person, the grind, the memorizing, to not really feel like I'm gonna get a job, and then you finish it all in like a month. Like, oh, you can just do it on over the phone. Like, you really? You made me do that? But anyways, um, it's June, so I'm like, all right, I need to go to get a job. I worked restaurant a couple times in college. I was like, I'll figure this out. Start working at this Greek place in my hometown, and then when I moved to Detroit, I started working out at one of their locations in a Detroit suburb. And I actually worked occasionally at the one still in my hometown. I would drive back and forth. And the way that this restaurant worked was they were kind of just like a Chipotle, but Greek food. That's honestly all you need to know. Just like they got the little thing in the front. It's like, oh, you want tomatoes? Do you want olives? Do you want that shit on whatever you ordered? They did have the Euro meat or whatever on the stick. This is the thing. This is where I'm going to start out with this. This dude, the owner of this Greek restaurant, it used to be a chain, or attempted chain. There was like two. Now there's one. The one from my hometown closed now. They weren't paying their rent. I would say allegedly, but you can look this up. Um, I'll let you to sleuth and to figure this out. I'm not gonna just name them like that. At least not at this point. Not 3 minutes in. You gotta listen to like minute 20, 25 if you want that kind of diamond content. Not even gold. That's diamond. That's just straight to the source. Calling people out publicly. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's what I want to do, but maybe I'll say that in around like minute 23. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, this guy, he's like the son of a chef, and he became a chef himself. And I'm like, all right, so if that's what you're gonna do, make like an actual restaurant. This guy he talks himself up. He's like, oh, I'm amazing. I'm a, I'm a Bobby. That's his name, Bobby or whatever. That's what he goes by. I don't think Bobby's his actual name, but that's what he would want to be called or whatever the fuck. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a Bobby. He's not Italian. It's Greek, but like I don't know how to do that thing. I don't even know if I'm doing the Italian right. But this is what's coming out of my mouth right now. But he would be like, oh yeah, I'm Bobby. I know how to cook. I know how to make all the bullshit. And like, here's the thing. He had the skill. He showed me a few times. He's like, you're not making the salad right. And then he would just bare hand fucking a bunch of feta, throw it on top. And I was like, that's not sanitary. No gloves. And then he wanted me to serve it to somebody. He's like, oh, that's how we do it over there. I'm like, no, you were born here, bro. like, you can't just use that as an excuse. A lot of people would say like, oh, Bobby, he's an asshole. He's really he's stern, and and they would always pass it off as like, oh, he's foreign. He's Italian, or no, he's not Italian. He's foreign. He's Greek, and that's what people always say. Oh, he's Greek, and then he would even say, he's like, oh, you know me. I was Greek. I was raised by the Greeks, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like, oh, you're not like fully whatever the country is, so you just get to be an asshole. He's not great. He's just a fucking dick. That's what this guy is. like, I hated that whole thing of like, oh, you just get a pass because you're an immigrant. But he's not even an immigrant. He's a son of somebody. So it's like, this guy literally, he's no different than me. Fresh off the boat, somebody has a kid. That kid is an American. So you can't fucking use that like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And even if he was, or whatever, from where it doesn't matter where he's from. Just because he acts like that he's an asshole. Like, just because he's an asshole doesn't mean like, oh, he's not from here. He's not an asshole. He's just different. No. Do you know assholes? Why we call them assholes? Because they're different than normal people. And the way that they're different is they're just fucking worse. Or they're rude. Or they're dicks. Anyways, son of a chef. His dad had was in like legit restaurants or whatever, and then he's gonna open up this thing. And don't get me wrong, his restaurant made a lot of money. I don't know why he didn't pay the rent for the restaurant in my hometown because they were killing it. At least they were able to definitely kill it if they were taking the tip money, which they were. So yeah, we'll bring that up again a couple more times. Don't worry. That's gonna be a recurring note. The restaurant that took my tips. I'll never forget. They were Greek. Yeah, that's another thing. I should be able to just say that. It's like, oh, he was an asshole. He's not an asshole. He's Greek. I'll be like, oh, they weren't stealing my tips. They were Greek. That's what they do. Oh man, Kristofer and the war versus the Greek people of America. I don't know if I'm gonna win. I'll take it on though. We got this. They steal tips. Ah. I don't think Greek people actually steal tips. Again, it's not Greek people. It's just Bobby. This guy is an asshole. My old boss is an asshole. Yeah, so he would steal our tips, and then, part of what really made me I just couldn't respect this guy. He's like, oh, I'm son of the chef, blah, 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 I'm also fancy, I know how to do this, and he just opens up, like, a basic-ass, like, Chipotle, but just for his type of, like, family's food, like, Greek kind of bullshit. There's nothing special. It's really just, like, fresh vegetables, and then you buy the meats. The problem was, this guy would sell everything. He said the fries, hand-cut fries, fresh. The meat, fresh. What else? The vegetables, I guess, were the sauces, the tzatziki sauce, the zesty feta. Everything he always sold as, like, oh, it was hand-cut, fresh, authentic, made in-house. Everything, and I mean literally everything, came out of a fucking box and was frozen. We would get yelled at. We would be in a huge rush. We need to get stuff out to people. And we would get yelled at if we, like, ran a bag into the front. Be like, oh, you can't let people see this. I'm like, what? They don't see that this is a frozen fucking thing anyways right before when they watch me make it and put it on the thing? They know this is coming out of a fucking box. The funny thing is, like, the fries, it literally said hand-cut fries on the box, like, on the side of the box that they come in. So I'm like, oh, this is all a scheme. I'm sure that maybe the knife that they use to cut it or whatever the fuck, the blade's just called hand at the factory. That's how it's hand cut. Sure, it's a scheme all the way down the line. Just naming things. Yeah, the sauce was just prepackaged. You just, like, mix in water. But he would tell people, like, oh, no, we make it in here. What's up, dude? My roommate's giving me some weird looks now. He just came out of the shower. Well, now I lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah, everything in this dude's fucking restaurant was fake. Well, not fake, but he would lie. All the meat was, like, pre-frozen. It would come in a box. The chicken, I guess, was technically cooked fresh. But that was really it. He advertised everything as fresh. The seasoning was made in-house. That was just out of a box called adobo seasoning, so very generic. Is adobo Greek? No, right? It's like Mexican, isn't it? Like from the adobe?
I don't know if it's Mexican, but it's Latino.
Isn't that where the adobe is like that rock, that red rock sort of shit, right? From like Mexico, Arizona, Utah. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? What?
You really don't know what to say, huh?
No, now I feel weird. I was mid rant and now I'm like how long is Kevin gonna be here for?
I can barely hear you, so you can do your thing.
Oh, okay. Well, what are you cooking though? I am curious.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts? Okay. Do Brussels sprouts have a lot of protein?
No.
Why do you eat them then?
It's fiber.
Oh, fiber? Okay.
Fiber, carbohydrates, and
I get you put a lot of oil on them, right?
good amount.
That's like keto. That's like still caloric. It's
Why are
good.
you criticizing my diet?
I'm not criticizing. I'm like if anything I'm complimenting. I just called it keto.
Let's break down both our diets.
Huh?
Let's break down both.
I literally was complimenting your diet. I was like, that's keto. That's good. Why are you attacking me? Well, I think we have a very similar diet, honestly. I'm kidding. They would make fresh baklava. at that restaurant. That's like the one thing that they made that was fresh. Is she Greek?
No, she was.
Some type of Middle East. Oh, okay. So does she make pistachio baklava?
I don't know, cause I usually the baklava that I've had before hers, it used to make my throat itchy, and hers didn't make my throat itchy. I like that. Like I will have many pieces.
Dude, that means you're sensitive to a certain type of nut. Like you can be like allergic without being like allergic to a food. That means like whatever type of.
Allergic to pistachio.
No, you can have like you know how like people are gluten sensitive.
What?
You know people are like gluten intolerant or like gluten insensitive. That's like what that is. It's like you're insensitive. Apparently, if that happens, you're not supposed to eat those foods, or at least not eat them often, because it's just like for whatever reason your body's just like rejecting it. Kind of. It's just more work for your body. Trail
It
mix.
makes my throat itchy.
Maybe you have a peanut allergy. Peanut
I
tree.
eat peanut.
No, but it's like not like a full on allergy. It's like the sensitivity. Like instead of being all the way, we're doing a mystery on our diets. What do you think I'm sensitive to?
Can you please stop eating like sweets? So
Why? Why do you need to? Why do I need to stop eating sweets?
I can finally have some abs.
So you can have abs?
Yeah.
What is that? What does me eating food have to do with you?
Temptation, brother. Temptation.
What do you mean temptation?
Temptation.
But like, I don't know.
I'm eating ice
You
cream
can.
tonight, but you brought like my favorite ice cream of all times, and then you're.
It's not that good. It's okay.
Yeah. The mocha? Almond fudge? Ice cream?
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins?
Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
It's top 3?
Yeah.
Dude, look at that. I didn't even know. I literally, I put down other ice creams. I put down Haagen-Dazs ice creams at Target, and I was like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I went to Baskin Robbins, and I got that thing. The last one.
Two of those for $5.
He's waving me goodbye. But yeah, basically everything about this Bobby guy, just a total sleazeball, slime, fraud. Which, to be honest, if that's who you are, I'm not gonna be totally against it. But you can't sell yourself and be like, oh, I'm amazing, I'm Bobby. When in reality, you're just a schmuck. And then you're just selling cheap product, lying, for some overpriced fucking food while you're underpaying your workers. We're making like $11 an hour in there. And he was stealing our tips. He was stealing our tips if you were working in the house, which that's where most of the tips were from anyways. If you delivery drove, you got to keep your tips, which was it made 0 cents. Other than, I mean, obviously he was stealing money, so it makes sense that he's making more or whatever the hell. He had like so many. He had like 4 or 5 like sports cars, like super nice, like souped up Jeep. I think he had a Porsche like convertible. I think he had a Ferrari. He had some. I know he had like some sort of like sports car like that, like an expensive one. I don't even know. It's just gross to look at and be like, oh well, I could have maybe just taken a day off and still made rent easy. Or you could have just bought yourself like a third one of these cars. I'm being dead serious, because one of the things that he would do, like this is the weird kind of like mentality that he would run this restaurant underneath. He would have this mentality of, it's all just about image and fake and faux. He'd bring these photographers in and like dress up a plate and like make it look all fancy so we can go into like the newspaper or go like online or in some Instagram thing. But then when you come in, we never serve the food like that. Not even close. Not even at all. We wouldn't even have the same, like, either food itself, or we wouldn't have, like, the same sort of, like, materials. Be like, oh, it all looks like this. It's like, no, dude, we serve this on a piece of fucking plastic, man. It's a to-go box. You can't say it's like, oh, fancy. You gotta pay premium dollar. And then at the end of the day, it's just like some intern is getting 7 of these salads because it's easy. Fucking come with pita bread on the side. The pita bread was good. Oh yeah, by the way, they don't make their dough fresh. Even some of the sleaziest places I worked at in the past, restaurant, like, they still made their own dough. Pizza place, or calzone, whatever the fuck, but different time, different story. But still, they made their own dough. They switched, actually, from going pre-made dough, switched from that, and went over to, we're going to make our own. They went the harder route. They figured out how to make the restaurant, and they were like, we're going to make our business even harder. And then they did that and actually improved. But hey, it's a lot of work, man. And Bobby decided he wants to do none of it. Which again, if that's who you are, that's okay. But you can't just sell that you're like the best. All this fancy. I'm Bobby. I'm Bobby. Ooh. I'm like dancing around my apartment right now. Ooh, I'm Bobby. Ooh. Like, dude, just fucking take your money and get out of there, man. He'd show up like once a day maximum for like an hour, and oh my god, dude, the security cameras. This is the kind of shit he would tell me. He'd be like, he'd be like, oh, come here, Kristofer, look at this. You see me? This is what I do. I watch and I work. I watch and I work. He's like in this tiny little office, which is actually a bathroom. There's like a toilet there. They like converted it. It's like this little room, probably like, I don't know, 20 square feet, tiny. There's a computer in there, like some boxes. It's barely a room, barely a closet, whatever the hell. And he's just in there with his little computer. And he's got like his little setup. He watches all the cameras. He like spies on us. I'm like, dude, you're literally 15 feet away. You could just stick your head out the door and like watch us that way anyway. So like just peer over our shoulders. But no, then he'll like call us to the back and be like, we'll like grab somebody, like, hey, tell this person, go grab them. And then they do, then he brings them back, then he like lectures them. He's lectured me for like 20 minutes over like, I didn't put enough cheese on the feta. It like went into like a bunch of different things. He's like, you don't know who I know. I know this guy. He made a restaurant over here in the hood. Fancy restaurant in the hood. You would never expect that. I'm like, dude, I don't know who or what you're talking about, man. I don't know the area you're talking about. I don't know the guy you're talking about. And I don't know what this has to do with putting feta cheese on top of a fucking salad during a lunch rush. But I was also trained at the same time. One scoop, any more, you're wasting money. And now you're telling me take the fucking whole handful, just take it. Oh, so we're gonna throw this everywhere. Yeah, you need to make it look nice, presentable, sexy. Fuck you, Bobby. Fuck you, man. Fucking share that cheese. If you're gonna share that cheese, fucking don't take our tips. That's my cheese, man. I think half of this podcast is just me being like, this person owes me money. In a legal sense, they should pay me. Yeah, Bobby, when you do all the math, it adds up. It's a lot of money. Enough money to buy a few nice fancy cars. Oh, yeah. But yeah, back to the car thing. This is one of the things that he would do, how he run the restaurant. All about faux. How you look. And I get it. Again, to a point. There is some like, well, how you present yourself, like, makes you... You got to be able to sell your product, sell yourself, all that kind of stuff. But you can't just, like, lie straight up. But what this guy would do, middle of a snowstorm, I'm talking we got, like, 12 inches, like, February, January, Michigan snowstorm, something around, like, that time of year. And we get this big storm, and, like, half of us are, like, late to work. Like, the manager couldn't make it in for, like, at least 2 hours because, like, the roads were that bad. I don't even know why, like, half of us even went in. Because no one really did anything. The whole, like, city shut down. Which is really not that common, honestly. Usually when, like, Southeast Michigan, it takes, like, a lot for the city or areas to, like, shut down for a day. Like, the schools will, but a lot of times people will still be going to work and stuff or whatever. This was like, I don't know why we were open. A lot of places all closed down, which means a lot of our business isn't going to be coming to us because, I don't know, we were in downtown suburb of Detroit, and most of the money, at least on like a random weekday, is going to be coming from the lunch rush and stuff, or like the happy hour, like dinner, like, oh, I just got off work, let me get this shit. Oh, let me get something for the kids. But no, nothing's happening. This guy brought us all in, whatever, and then we have no customers, so the parking lot's like empty. And he's like, "Hey guys, we need to get this like looking like we're kind of busy. So I need a couple of you. You drove here. I know you got a car. Move your cars into the lot." So that's what they did. I had a couple cars parked there, and he's like, "It still doesn't look busy enough. We need to make sure people, even like, oh, the whole city's closed." And he's like, "Oh, everything might. You got people gonna be scared. Like, oh, can I get dinner? Is it closed? I want people to see no cuisine. They're open. They got people and they got going on." So he had the fucking delivery drivers grab like the keys for his like sports cars that he parked next like door, like the property over in the like parking structure, and they drove those down. So now we just have like a full parking lot, like almost enough for like a couple people to come in. But what's so funny is that normally no one's allowed to park in the parking lot if you work. because we need to make sure we have like enough people. Like this guy is just nuts, man. He's like, oh, if you have one car there, and like no, even if you're a delivery driver, you gotta go park like in a random parking lot in the fucking city, and then like run your way over to the business sometimes because like, oh, we're too busy. It's like you can't that one parking spot. It could turn into like somebody gets oh no, it's full. They're not gonna come and get our food. They're gonna turn around. They might wave to somebody, be like, oh no, it's full. It's two customers, two cars full of people. That's gone. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Bobby, all you do is make fucking frozen food. That's what I do, man. I don't have that good of a diet. I just make frozen food all the time. That's what I was just talking to my roommate about. Like, oh, his diet's great, mine's awful. I'm literally Bobby, but Bobby's out here like, ooh, I'm a special. I'm a Greek. I'm a special. I'm a Bobby. I'm a Greek. No, dude. You're a fucking fraud. Who doesn't even pay his rent, apparently. I don't know how that's possible. Honestly, you know what? Let's investigate. We're gonna look at the news here. Why did they face it? Oh, so they faced eviction. That's right. Okay. So they faced eviction. They owed about 40 grand to its landlord. That is crazy. Good for apparently. I don't even know if I have to say alleged, but like this is what these records are saying. I don't know. Let's see. Taken to court by its landlord. $39,239.61. Oh, they have it down to the cent. Oh, man, this makes me feel good. This motherfucker. He's a little fraudster, this guy. Oh, yeah, Lascaris, or whatever the hell his name is. He still hopes to find a new location in Ann Arbor, but will continue the restaurant's catering efforts in the meantime. You're going to cater. Really, man. You're going to cater now. We didn't even cater back then. Yeah, it's just crazy that this guy couldn't pay his rent because he had a lot of money to do it. Because this is how he schemed it to not pay the tips out. So like I said earlier, the way that this restaurant worked was kind of like a Chipotle sort of thing. I think the culture around tipping at these places kind of changed in the last few years, and it definitely changed during the pandemic. Because I worked at a place in college that was very similar. It was like order at the counter type of place, usually to go. You can eat in there if you want. It was a little less fancy, obviously, but like it's not like the place I worked at. This Greek place was like super super fancy. It was a little more presentable and cleaner, but that was about it. But the place I worked at in the past, they had not many tips during a shift, and I would work like the dinner shift. If there was two of us in there, we'd be happy to come out with $5 to $10 each, working a few hours. So like nothing. I mean, it's like nice. I was a college kid. It's like that's nice little drinking money, whatever. Kind of assumed that's what it would be like at this Greek restaurant. So at this Greek restaurant, when I worked there, I did the delivery driving. I did a lot of stuff in-house. I literally would just do everything, honestly. One thing I didn't do for a minute while working there, it took a while, was work the cash register. We had this manager that for some reason she was very sexist for certain things. And one of those things, and she would never admit these things, but like it was very obvious. All of us would talk about it, guys and girls and whatnot, that worked there. But one of the things that she had in her head was that she like didn't trust men for some reason with like money. So all of the cashiers were always women. But we ran into a problem one day because the turnover at this place was very high, both time period and the kind of people they hire, like kids that are in school and whatnot. So we have a day where I'm the only person in there working, aside from her, that hasn't been working there for less than a week. So a bunch of these kids like literally do not know how to do anything. They've only been trained on like a couple things so far. So she's like, "Oh, we need somebody to work the register." And she's like, "I know how to do it, obviously," but she's like, "I need to be able to help, like do this or do that or whatever." She's like, "Can you do it?" And she's talking to me, and she's like, "I know you haven't been trained on this one yet, but like I know you've done it in the past." So she finally trusted me. I was the one man she trusted in the cash register. And within my first shift and first day, like full day working the register, is when I learned how much money that they were making at just this location in tips that we weren't allowed to get. Um, I said that all of the orders that came like online had at least 9 out of 10 of them had like a baseline level tip that was like $2 to $3 or something. A lot of the times it was a lot more. Then people, whenever they paid with the card, would leave something, and then there would be a little bit of cash as well. And I would be doing some math, and I was like, oh, this is hundreds of dollars every single like shift. Not even just like day, just like each shift is hundreds of dollars, and this guy was pulling it all in. And what they told us when we first got there, they're like, oh, the tips aren't that much. So what we do instead is like at the end of the week or something, where we like tally it all up and get you guys, like all the people that work like in house, like like a Starbucks like bag. So it'd be like some lemonades, some cookies, maybe some coffee or hot chocolate or whatever the hell. It'd be like $60 worth of treats. May probably even less, to be honest. That's that's what we got. If and sometimes we wouldn't even get one for a couple weeks. It was ridiculous. This guy schemed his way to do that, and then somehow couldn't even pay his rent. Good for you. Good for you, Bobby. Opa. My name's Bobby. I don't know what I'm doing. Opa. 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 Opa.